I made this icing with two simple ingredients and just my fork. I'll show you how. So this first batch was a fail because I cracked the egg wrong and the yellow spilled into the egg white. The other reason why this failed is because I think I added too much sugar at the start before beating the egg white. I tried to beat it for a long time, but it won't turn into icing. And this is how runny it stayed the whole time. So I decided to start a new batch, and this time the egg white is just the egg white. And I started beating it until it became a little thicker. And that's when I started adding sugar 1 teaspoon at a time. And in between adding sugar, I made sure that the previous one I added is completely dissolved. I only needed to add 4 teaspoons of sugar to this icing recipe, and I beat it, and beat it some more until I can form stiff peaks, or maybe semi-stiff peaks. I put a small batch of that icing into a small container so I can put a small amount of food coloring, and the only one I have is yellow. While for the bigger one, I added instant coffee. It smelled amazing while I was mixing coffee into the icing, and I set it aside inside the refrigerator to cool it. And now let's get ready for the base. I used mamon and cut it in half so that we can put icing in between like a sandwich. Now here's the fun part. This is the most satisfying part of making your own cake, the icing. Now that you've seen how easy it was to make your own icing, you can actually make your own cake every day. And you can make your cake as big as you want, as small as you want, with any base that you choose. You can use pan de sal if you want to. And I don't have any baker's tools or machine. I only used my fork. I only used one egg white, and also whatever I have in my pantry. In this case, a yellow food coloring and a muscovado sugar. That's why the icing turned brown during the first mix. But if I used white sugar, that icing would have been white to start with. It may not win any prize for the prettiest cake in the world or just in the Philippines, but it's a cake that I made in just a few minutes, and it's a cake that I made with just a few ingredients, and it will be devoured in also a few minutes. And this is the leftover icing that I can save for tomorrow. And this one is a cake that I made to celebrate our 11 subscribers in this YouTube channel. Yay! Thank you to the 11 who subscribed and gave me a reason to make this cake and celebrate. Yay you! And yay this icing cake that I will taste right now. When you cut into it, it feels like you're really cutting into a real cake because there's a real cake base right there. Now it's time to taste it.
Sure you up for this? It was an accident. Would have killed.
Nasang Goldilocks na mocha cake. It was at this moment that I realized that I was so proud of myself for what I have achieved in 10 to 15 minutes, and my ingenuity that I'm sharing to all of you. And because I have leftover icing, I spread it on the last piece. And now every bite is like the edge of the cake. I hope you learned something. Did you learn something? Because I certainly did. I learned that I can make cake every day. And here's what I did the next day. More cake with the leftover icing that I made. Subscribe so we can make more. Thank you.